All right, I want to do a breakdown of something that was going on last night during Asia. And I was seeing one of the guys online just getting cooked in it in this area right here. And I want to kind of break it down and show how I was reading it because I think it was really kind of interesting. Um, what I was seeing and how I was seeing it. And it's just going to take a second to break down the 5 minute chart here. All right, we're going to break this down on the 5,000 tick chart. Um, so this is a decent chart to use. It's a little bit, it's not really for entries. It's just, I really like how the 5,000 tick shows structure. Um, Looks a little busy right now, but I think what I want to do is I think we're just going to roll with it. I'm going to break down how this trait that I was watching unfolded. So, yesterday we had this giant move up. Last 2 days we had a giant move up. We're up 1,700 um, points from Monday's open till basically right now. I think that's about where we're at. Yeah, we're up like 1,700 points. And we went up, came up yonder. This was basically yesterday's close or settlement, somewhere around here. Um, then we had this little push up, and then I think we had an earnings dump, and at least that's what I assume it was. It was just right after the bell, and then we saw this slow march higher right here. And I feel like this probably caught a lot of people. I watched some streaming traders get caught in this. I mean, this looks like it's just a stare and it's ready to fail and go down, right? And this or bear flag or pennant or something, and then it looks like it's just ready to break down. And then we had this little breakdown here, and I think a lot of traders probably got caught in that. And I was buying all these dips last night, as you can see here. This is a little tilty, and this was in sim, but and you can actually see the tilt come. But I'm buying all these dips, I'm buying all these pullbacks, buying all these pullbacks. Got hit on one, a little bit of a revenge trade, got this one, and then I just sized into it. And this was sim. So just on another note today, I'm going to need to be really careful going into the day and make sure that this habit doesn't continue because this is, for me, this is how it happens. I start dollar cost averaging, oversizing, and then I start seeing like, oh, I'm winning. I put up $1,500 yesterday in an hour, and it's next thing I know, I'm losing $3,000 in an hour because I'm trading like this. And so, anyway, we're not talking about that right now. But what we are talking about is this market structure and how and why I had the thought that this was all these pullbacks were viable. Now, we had higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, higher lows, all the way up here, and then we had a break right here, and it's in this zone that I kind of wanna talk about. So let's go to draw a little rectangle here. Let's yellow box it. There we go. And then we're going to see how this played on the footprint charts. Right here. So here's this yellow box. And let's break it down. I didn't actually come over here to see. Yeah, okay, here we go. Oh, yeah, this is perfect. This is fucking perfect. So we had I was talking about this yesterday. I don't know if I posted it in a video or not, but I was posting how and where I would finally trust a short. I said that there had to be a volume build in the wick of this candle, and that volume build would have to break. I didn't even remember I had this on here, but this was a really, really key part of yesterday's price action. I wonder if we can get into that and why that was a thing. It was above the 750, pushed out. I don't know. This isn't quite as important as what we're talking about over here. But so we had a volume build here, right? Well, volume build here. Then we had a decent distribution. If we put these two candles together, we had a decent distribution. And if we add these into it, we also had a decent distribution. So like, let's go back to like 1230 then and see what like a volume profile from that period would look like. So let's check this out. Okay, just this area here, all the way through. There we go. All right, so we have this profile here. We kind of have a triple distribution here, right? We got this one, and this one, and these are all kind of key zones that we're watching. Just bear with it for a second here. So we're we break down into this lower area. We break down into this lower area here, and this is on close. Then we have and we have this distribution right here on close. And this is a really, really decent distribution, right? Like this looks like a perfect bell curve for the most part, especially when we add this into it. So we're looking at this, and this is a really decent auction. It's a fair auction. And we have this turquoise line, which is the point of control. And so in order for us to think that the short is on, and we have confirmation that we're going to get a down move, we want to see a build in volume on the bottom side of this distribution, right? Just like we had this distribution to the top side, and then we had this volume above it, which confirms that price is accepted a higher. We want the same thing right here. We want to see price move down, build a little bit of volume, and we exit. Then we exit here or enter here on a breakdown, or we wait for a retest coming up into this and see if we can find some structure level or whatever up here to just gut it and then see if we can take it lower. But we didn't get that. We had this distribution, and then when the Globex open, 5 o'clock open hit, immediately we saw a volume build. We saw a volume build above this distribution. So when we come over and we look at the 5,000 tick, there's it right here. And then we come over and we look at this 5,000 tick. Here's that rectangle. I have a valley here on the 25-day LVN, or a low volume node on the 25-day volume profile, rolling volume profile. And I don't have a program. That's why we have this circle line here. So here's the open, 5 o'clock open. Immediately, we start building a little bit of volume, and that volume is above this, right? We're up here. We're building volume all the way up. And then we have this dip. And this dip comes right down to the point of the control from this one. So, and this is a perfect taper right here. All this is showing that price is not getting accepted lower. So in my mind, and how I thought of trading and how it worked, was that I was expecting all this volume to support, and it did. And when we pushed down, we had the taper. That means that if there were sellers there, they left. And same here, we had this taper. Same thing happened. They were gone, they left. So this whole area was a buy because we're coming down into this volume. Where I think if a person had that bearish mindset, and you're just reading candles here, you're seeing this like 3 candle reversal here. You're seeing us come up into this volume. You got this 3 candle reversal right here, and you're like, oh yeah, we're gonna gun it, and you get short, but then you're like, what the fuck happened, right? You got, I mean, sure, granted this is a 50-point move, but you're expecting it to break down a lot lower. And because you got that 1,700 point rip up, it's hard to put on a short and not expect to make 500 points on it or something, right? It has the best short ever. But there's so much capital flowing into this market right now, and it's so incredibly bullish. You know, it's a risk-on environment, and so I think the funds are pouring money into it, and so for us little brained retail traders, there's no fucking short. There's no short. You're swimming against a massive currency current. You're swimming against a massive amount of inflow into the markets, and they're going to push this motherfucker straight up to like all-time highs. That's my thought. So I'm going to stop this video just because I think I illustrated the point of, you know, what we were looking at here. And notice how I highlighted this area here as the point that, you know, this really is the point where I think a lot of bears probably ended up losing on, right? I think a lot of people just loaded up and got fucking short right here, and they ended up losing because they weren't expecting this to support. And so for me, going into the day, this is kind of an inflection point. And then you'll see we made new highs in the overnight. We accepted price up here. Notice that this top doesn't look like this bottom, right? This top looks like we pushed up and there was a battle, and there were buyers up here, and you can't build volume unless there's a two-sided trade. So there could have been buying and selling. There could have been a lot of buying, whatever it is, you know, people were entering up here. This was price acceptance. We came back down. We had a little bit of an acceptance here, but lo and behold, those sellers in this taper, they don't exist. We pushed up higher. We built this volume above this volume, in or above this volume. We built this volume above this volume and this volume, right? This whole area is really interesting because this is a volume build, right? This is kind of a zone, and we have this zone up here. And when you look at what price is doing right now, we have price acceptance above this distribution, and we had a push down into this low volume node, and all this volume is supporting. So going into the morning, we got to be looking at some of these levels, and then keeping our bullish bias, keeping our bullish bias, and thinking to ourselves, all right, well, you know, 1,700 points up in 48 hours. Price keeps getting accepted higher. Sellers keep getting run over on attempts to push down. So these are our indications of what our levels are and what our ranges are. And we're anticipating that these bullish volume blocks keep printing above us and we keep seeing price accepted within them. And we can't short until we see one of these key levels, right? One of these guys, one of these key levels, and then see volume, see important volume print below it is basically what we're looking for. And even when that happens, we still have to be careful to make sure that we're not oversizing our short, because these bulls are really strong, and it's to short this feels really nonsensical unless if you got a triple A plus setup.